Greetings to you and welcome to this episode of Grace Podcast. I'm Timothy Muse. I'll be your host as we spend this time together. It's a joy to be with you. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for making this podcast a part of your life, a part of your journey. And I want to thank you for being on this journey, for taking the time, the vulnerability, the courage, the initiative to look at yourself and be able to see the places where you want to give a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of extra focus. We all have places in our life that need that. We all have places in our life that need that extra attention, that extra place. So good for you for being here. Good for you for showing up. Good for you for being a part of this. And I'm honored to be able to come alongside of you. I'm honored to be able to come alongside where you're at and offer some guidance, support, encouragement, nuggets of wisdom, whatever it is that I can give to you. So thank you for that. If this podcast is helpful, please share it out there. Put it out there on your social media feeds. I post on LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you follow me on any one of those feeds, or if you follow the life coaching program, then you'll see these episodes. Share them out there. Put them out there for others to see. Tag me in it. I really would love to see where you're at. If you're on one of the listening platforms, as always, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music, follow us, give us a rating and review. Every positive rating and review helps the platform see that people are listening, and it'll alert you when a new episode comes out. And if you want to reach out to me directly, gracelifecoaching.com. That's the best way to do it. It's got all my contact information. I would love to hear from you. I really, truly would. So Merry Christmas once again, my friends. We are on the other side of the big day. And as society works, we often don't dwell in things. We move on to the next thing. And the next thing coming up is New Year's. The year is almost over. And right now you're standing on a threshold. This is a threshold time. This week between Christmas and New Year's is a threshold time. 1 year behind us. And we do the whole looking back and doing the negotiating and the remembering and the memories. And yet there's another year ahead of you. The calendar's going to turn and things are going to move forward. Most people want to rush to that moment. They want to hurry to the next chapter without honoring the one they're closing. It's really important to honor the one that you're closing because endings matter. How we end things matter. How you end something shapes how you begin what comes next. Think about it. When you quit early, rush through, or mentally check out, you train yourself to believe that finishing doesn't matter, that follow through is optional, that effort expires when things get uncomfortable. But when you finish strong, even imperfectly, you build something far more valuable than results. You build identity. You become someone who doesn't disappear when it gets hard. James Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Right now, your choices are votes. How you end this year, how you end this process and get ready to step into the new one matters. This isn't just I give up or I'm done or whatever. No, you want to finish strong. Finish this year strong so that next year, when you take into the first step into next year, you're pushing forward. You're not just dragging yourself into something new. If we're honest with ourselves, this year probably didn't go exactly how you imagined. When we're at January 1st, we have an image of what the year is going to look like, and then the year comes along and things happen. There were plans that didn't happen, versions of yourself that didn't fully show up, moments where you thought, I should be further along than now. But here's the truth people miss. Finishing strong is not about pretending the year was perfect. It's about refusing to let disappointment define the ending. You don't finish strong by denying reality. You finish strong by owning it. You finish strong by owning that maybe the year wasn't what you envisioned it to be, but it was still your year. And all that was part of it is still your year. And you want to finish strong. You want to finish strong by owning your reality. And that means asking some brave questions, some really brave questions. Like, what did I learn about my limits? Where was I pressed beyond what I'm capable of? Where did I bite off more than I could chew? Where did I envision more than I could live into? Where did I set my goals higher than I could aspire to? You learn about your resilience. Where am I resilient? Where did I bounce back? Where did I falter but not give up? Where did I strive but not really get as far as I wanted to? Resilience is so important. We as humans are very resilient beings. We have figured out how to live in our environment, in our world, even when the environment is hostile. So where did you learn about your resilience in the past year? We want to go back and look at all of the highlights, and even if the highlights were small, but we also want to look at where we were resilient, where we found our limits, where we learned from them, and where we are resilient in bouncing back. And where did you keep going even when it was hard? That's a huge thing to celebrate because life gets hard. It really does. Life is hard. So where did you keep going even when it was hard? Where did you not give up? Where did you not just falter? Finishing strong allows you to ask those brave questions as you look over the last year. And those answers are gold because these lessons are transferable. Failures are teachers. And effort compounds. So when you look back and you say, where was I resilient? Where did I find my limits? Where did I experience hard things and keep pushing through? You keep transferring those things. They don't end. They don't expire on December 31st like maybe your vacation days do. They push forward. And these are valuable lessons because if we want to extend our limits, if we want to go beyond where we were last year, then we need to lean into that resilience. We need to lean into those places where we kept going even when it was hard. Okay? We want to do that. So we want to take those lessons and move them forward and learn that effort and see where we did push through when it was difficult. Mel Robbins says you're one decision away from a completely different life. And if that resiliency isn't there, if you're that one decision away, that one step, and you give up or you stop or you just say it isn't worth it, you could miss the next great piece of your life. So how you finish is so important. That decision might be to finish this year with intention instead of avoidance. Instead of be like, okay, Christmas is done. Now I can just dwell and I can ruminate and I can just whatever. No, you want to finish with intention. You want to give that last little bit. You still have a week left of the year. You can still move into that last week with intention, with expectation, and with the ability to finish strong. If you look at an athlete running a race or finishing a game, competing, they don't just, draw back when they get to the finish line. No, they lean into it. They dig deeper. They sprint. They find the spirit. That's how life works. That's what we do. When we finish strong, when we lean into the end, it gives us the capability of transitioning into something far more beautiful and something far more powerful. It gives us the capability of transitioning into something far greater for ourselves. So we really want to dig deep and finish this year strong. We want to finish this year so that we can set a new beginning. Because look, if you lose momentum, if you lose that energy, if you just kind of like blah out for the next, I'm not going to finish this year because I didn't reach what I wanted to reach. I didn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't succeed where I wanted to succeed. Then you're going to enter into that transition, into that newness, not with positivity and hope and encouragement. You're going to enter into it with negativity and doubt and fear and drawing back. Athletes don't do that. The biggest push comes at the end, not at the beginning, because that's when they need to be the strongest. So when we finish strong, we build identity, we become someone who follows through, we choose to close loops. We choose to be someone who doesn't quit because the calendar is about to change. That's so important for us. It's so important for us to be able to do that, to be able to lean into that. I want to talk about some core places where we can lean into and finish strong as the year is winding down. And they don't have to be big. They don't have to be huge. But let's talk about some things that you can end your year powerfully. One of them is to close one open loop. We have a lot of open loops. Maybe we wanted to reach out to a friend that we hadn't reached out to in a while, and we just haven't gotten to it. This is a good time to close that loop. To conclude that, to finish strong. Maybe there's one closet that you've wanted to clean out, or that junk drawer that you've wanted to organize, or that card you wanted to write. Those things. We have so many open loops in our life, and we look at those open loops and we see them and we're like, oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have done that. What's the one thing you've been avoiding, or the one thing unfinished? Completion builds confidence. So one way that you can finish strong is to close one loop. That one thing that's been lingering. We all have them. We all have places that have been lingering. Maybe it's cleaning your desk. Maybe it's transitioning your clothes from summer to winter. Maybe it's, cleaning out the garage. Close one loop. Finish strong, because that completion is going to build confidence. You're able to look back at it and say, I was able to do that. I said I was going to do it, and I was going to do it, and I did it. And that completion then can push you into the new transition of the year. Name your growth. Write down what this year strengthened in you, even if it hurt. That's the thing, is if we can go back and we can look at where we grew, even if it was painful. A lot of times we grow out of pain. We don't grow out of comfort. We grow out of pain. So write down that one thing that you learned about, that you grew in this year. Write down that one place that strengthened you, even if it hurt. Even if it was terrible, it strengthened you. It made you stronger. It made you more resilient. It showed you that you don't give up when it's hard. Write that one thing down. Write it down on a piece of paper. Reflect about it. Ruminate on it. Think about it, and then write it down. And you're able to look back at it and say, oh, this year really didn't come up with much. No, I grew this year. Maybe not a whole lot, but I grew this year. Look, an oak tree doesn't grow tall overnight, but when it grows tall, it's strong. So growth that happens slowly and intentionally is really, really important. So name your growth. Name where you grew this year, even if it was difficult, even if it was small. Name it, own it, identify it. And then you can take that growth and say, see, I did grow last year. I did expand last year. So I can grow. I can move forward as I'm moving into the new year. This is how we finish strong. And choose your ending story. Choose your ending story. Choose how you're going to write the ending of your year. Don't say something like, I didn't do enough. We all can say that. I didn't do enough. I could say I didn't do enough because I did things like sleep and took a day off and went fishing and went hiking. I didn't do enough. No, rewrite that ending. Rewrite what you're going to say about your year. You know what? I stayed. I learned. I grew. Maybe I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to, but I accomplished. I advanced. Rewrite your ending. You get to choose how you view your year, my friends. No one is writing this for you. You get to choose it. So when we want to end strong, we want to make sure that we choose our ending well, so that ending can propel us into the next piece. Look, just because the calendar is going to turn to 2026 doesn't mean that December 31st is going to be any different than January 1st. We're going to wake up and the sun is going to be up and we're going to face the same things we faced the day before. It doesn't have that kind of cataclysmic shift. So you want to choose your ending. When you lay down on December 31st, or when you raise your glass on December 31st, whatever you do, you want to be able to say, I finished strong. Maybe I didn't achieve everything I wanted to, but this and this and this, I did this, I grew here, I was resilient here, I pressed my limits here. You want to end strong. Don't allow this last week of the year to just be blah. Don't allow this last week of the year for you to look back and finish weakly by judging yourself and shaming yourself and guilting yourself. That's not going to help you. Finish strong. But don't rush through it. Don't be like, I just got to get to 2026 because it's going to be better. Maybe not. Finish strong. Don't rush the ending. Honor it. Strong endings don't just close chapters. They set the tone for everything that comes next. And that's what you want to do. You want to set the tone for where you're going to go from here. You want to use your end as a leapfrog, a leap pad into the new year. So finish strong. Honor your growth. Honor your resilience. Honor where your limits were pressed and you learned from them. Honor that you got to this point. And it may have been a trudge, man. It may have been a fight or a battle, but you're still here. So honor that. Honor that you've made it to this point and finish strong. Look at the next week as a way to finish strong. Close one of those loops that are open. Who knows where they are? We all have different loops. Close one. Name your growth. Write it down. Share it with someone else. Maybe if you don't know, ask a friend or a spouse or a parent where you've grown in the past year, and choose to write your own ending. No one's going to write your ending for you. You get to choose it. You can choose to end with pushing through it, getting to the next year. You can choose to end with looking at all of the failures, or you can choose to end by acknowledging that, yeah, it was tough, but I stayed and I fought and I made it to this point, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep growing. Growth is not easy. It never is, but you're here. So end well. End this last week well. Finish strong so that you can begin the next year strong. That's what I got for you, my friends. I hope this is helpful. If it is, please share it out there. Put it out there on your social media feeds. I post on LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and Facebook. If you're following on one of the listening platforms, then follow us, give us a rating and review. Love to hear from you. And if you want to reach out to me, GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. You can reach out to me. I'd love to come alongside you if I could, offer whatever I can for you for your growth, happiness, health, satisfaction. So here at Grace Life Coaching, we want you to be the best you.